Hello agents, and welcome back to another Division 2 video. In today's video, I'm excited to share with you guys 2 high damage DPS builds for the Division 2. These 2 solo PVE builds are capable of clearing heroic difficulty content with ease and work extremely well for raids. And if you are a beginner, they will be a great option. You will find it very easy to clear high difficulty endgame content such as level 4 control points, heroic missions, bounties, and more. What makes these builds great for a beginner is that most of the pieces can be farmed and attained quite easily. So, starting off this list, here is one of the best capacitor builds ever created. This build is a must-try, and the damage that it puts out is quite shocking, to say the least. The capacitor is a very accurate and stable weapon that feels really nice. Like, you're gonna feel like John Wick with this build on. This is a really fun build to use. Although this is somewhat of a hybrid, it still hits extremely hard. Now, this build shines in both Conflict and Dark Zone PvP. The only downside of this build is its lack of survivability. However, since this is a hybrid build, you can always throw on a heal hive to increase your survivability if that's what you wish to do. Now, if you don't have the capacitor, it is very easy to get if you farm a location that has assault rifle as its targeted loot. A very easy way to do this is by running Countdown or the Summit mission. For those of you who don't know, these 2 missions have an option that allows you to select a specific loot to drop. So if you need the capacitor, I meant to say. Sorry, I've got a little brain fog. But anyway, if you need the capacitor, I recommend you run either Countdown or Summit. And just make sure to select assault rifles as your targeted loot. Since the capacitor is an assault rifle, doing this will narrow down the loot pool to just assault rifles, greatly increasing your chances of getting the capacitor. So let's get into the breakdown of this build. Since this is a hybrid build, I chose to go with the Technician specialization, and if you take a look over here, you can select either the 10% skill damage passive talent or the 10% skill healing. So, you have an option to go with heals to increase your survivability, or you can go with skill damage to further increase your damage. The choice is yours. Now, for the primary weapon, let's have a look at the talent that comes with the capacitor. Currently, my capacitor is at 12 expertise. With the talent capacitance, shooting enemies builds stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5 skill damage. After 5 seconds, stacks decay 1 per second, and for each skill tier, gains 7.5% weapon damage. I find that having 4 skill tiers is the sweet spot for great damage with this gun. For the secondary weapon, nothing fancy, just the black market RPK, which can be crafted at the White House. Feel free to use whatever you would prefer for a secondary weapon. Next up is the Ninja Bike Backpack. This backpack is super viable and really comes in handy for making extremely powerful hybrid builds. This is all thanks to its amazing talent, Resourceful. This talent basically slots in with any equipped gear set or brand set to serve as the additional piece to fulfill a gear sets or brand sets bonus. This can unlock bonuses from multiple sets at once. So, in other words, having this bag equipped will serve as the additional piece of any set you are wearing. So for instance, I have just one Fenris vest equipped, and having one piece gives you 10% assault rifle damage, but since I also have the Ninja Bike bag equipped, it gives me the second brand set bonus, 30% reload speed. The talent on this vest is Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. For the mask, I've got the Brazos brand set, and for the holster, the Picaro's holster. And since this holster is the Brazos brand set, not only do I get 15% weapon damage from its native attribute, but I get all 3 brand set bonuses from just having 2 pieces on, thanks again to the Ninja Bike bag. With the Providence gloves, I get 15% headshot damage and 10% critical hit chance. The last piece is Walker Harris knee pads, giving 5% weapon damage and 5% damage to armor, contributing to the high damage output of this build. For the stats, my capacitor is at 54% critical hit chance and 170 critical hit damage. Pretty crazy. For the skills, you may either go with a Restore Hive if you favor more survivability, or if you just want to do additional skill damage, you can go with a Sticky Bomb or whatever floats your boat. Just make sure to have the Diagnostics passive talent on the Technician's skill tree activated for that 10% increase in skill healing, or the Overclocked for 10% skill damage. The choice is yours. Now, this next build is extremely viable. We will be utilizing the power of the UMBRA Initiative gear set 4-piece bonus coupled with the Pestilence. seconds. This build will deal out a ton of raw weapon damage. You can expect to clear content very quickly with this build. Not only that, the talent on the Pestilence, Plague of the Outcasts, will apply a debuff to the enemy, dealing 100% damage over time for 10 seconds. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, 100% of the stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters, hence the name Plague of the Outcasts. This is extremely effective at taking out several NPCs quickly, especially the annoying NPCs that like to hide in the back while staying in cover for all of eternity. Just look at how quickly these NPCs are dropping, like houseflies. This Umbra build also utilizes the power of the Ninja Bike Bag, which you can attain from running Countdown or Summit and selecting backpacks as your targeted loot. You can also get it from farming out in the open world. Just find an area dropping backpacks. An ideal opportunity would be farming control points in an area where backpacks are the targeted loot. The Umbra Initiative gear set is very easy to acquire and will increase your weapon's rate of fire while in cover. Getting out of cover will apply the buff. So as you can see, there is a green icon under my status bar indicating that the Umbra talent is working. While in cover, once this bar is full, make sure you're out of cover before firing so you can receive the buff. Going back in cover will consume the stacks, while regenerating your armor over time, which is super helpful when you're pinned down with no armor kits. So let's have a closer look. For this build, I'm running the Firewall specialization for that 200% bonus armor and health. Gunner would be a better option, however, since you will get armor on kill, and you may also want to use the Banshee Pulse, which is amazing for crowd controlling those stupid NPCs. Unfortunately for me though, I need to level it on this character, but I'm too fucking lazy. Anyway, let's have a look at the primary weapon. The Pestilence is very easy to get, by the way. It drops like hot cake in the DZ, but if you tend to farm out in the open world, just find an area dropping LMGs or run Countdown with LMGs selected as your targeted loot, and you should be good to go. With the Talent Plague of the Outcasts, hits apply a debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, 100% of the stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. For the backpack, I'm using the Ninja Bike Bag, and for the gloves, I have the Contractor's Gloves equipped. These gloves give 10% LMG damage and comes with 8% damage to armor, which drastically increases this build's damage output. My next piece is the Picaro's Holster, which comes with 15% weapon damage. For the mask, the weapon damage and critical hit chance are maxed out, and for the knee pads, weapon damage and critical hit chance. And for the vest, weapon damage and critical hit chance. Having 3 pieces of the Umbra set will unlock both 15% critical hit chance and 30% reload speed. And since I have the Ninja Bike Bag, I have the 4th piece bonus unlocked. The 4th piece bonus is the Talent, from the shadows into the light. While in cover, gain 10 stacks per second up to 50. Each stack will give you a 1% critical hit damage increase, as well as a 0.3% RPM increase. However, this buff does not apply while shooting from cover. You will need to get out of cover in order for this buff to be active. While out of cover, you will lose 2 stacks per second at normal speed and 1 stack per second if you're sprinting. Also, while being out of cover and in combat, you will gain 10 stacks per second up to 50. Each stack will give you close to 1% armor regeneration when it is consumed. For the skills, the Booster Hive is great for weapon stability and accuracy. The Defender Drone is great as well, but you may use whatever fits your playstyle. For the stats, my Pestilence is currently at 55.9% critical hit chance and 69% critical hit damage, and finishing off with 5 red core attributes, 2 blue and 1 yellow. One thing I forgot to mention is that the Ninja Bike Bag comes with all 3 core attributes, which is really nice. So there you have it, guys. This is Prajna, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys find these 2 builds helpful at clearing content in the Division 2. Good luck leveling, agents, and like always, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. Keep it cool, keep it classy, love and light, peace out.